Welcome back to another episodes of Business Yoga Podcast. Today we will talk about Ashtanga Yoga, or the 8 limbs of yoga. In today's fast-moving and unpredictable world, we often find ourselves juggling multiple responsibilities, constantly chasing goals and trying to keep up with the demands of modern life. It's a world that is interconnected, uncertain, and complex, what many describe as a VUCA world. In such an environment, the question naturally arises: how do we stay balanced? How do we maintain clarity, purpose, and inner stability while navigating external chaos? This is where the timeless wisdom of yoga becomes deeply relevant. When most people hear the word yoga, they think of physical postures or exercises. But yoga, in its true essence, goes far beyond the body. It is a complete system, a pathway to align the mind, body, and consciousness. One of the most profound frameworks within yoga is Ashtanga Yoga, introduced by the ancient sage Patanjali. The word Ashtanga literally means 8 limbs. These are not separate practices, but interconnected principles that guide us towards self-realization and a more balanced way of living. The 8 limbs are Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, and Samadhi. Each limb builds upon the previous one, creating a structured yet holistic journey. It begins with Yama, which represents our values, how we interact with the world. Principles like honesty, integrity, and nonviolence form the foundation of any meaningful life or business. Then comes Niyama, which focuses on self-discipline, how we manage ourselves internally. It includes practices like self-reflection, contentment, and personal growth. Asana, the 3rd limb, is often the most visible aspect of yoga. But here, it represents more than just posture. It symbolizes action. It reminds us that what we do matters, and how we act shapes our outcomes. Pranayama, the 4th limb, is about regulating our energy through breath. In a business context, it reflects emotional control, our ability to stay calm, composed, and aware even under pressure. The 5th limb, Pratyahara, is about withdrawing from distractions. In a world filled with constant notifications and noise, this ability to pause and disconnect becomes a superpower. Dharana is concentration, the ability to focus deeply on a single task or goal. It is what transforms effort into meaningful progress. Dhyana takes this a step further into sustained awareness or meditation, a state where focus becomes effortless and clarity emerges naturally. And finally, Samadhi represents complete alignment. It is the state where actions, intentions, and purpose come together seamlessly. It is not just success, it is fulfillment. Now, why is this relevant to business? Because business is not separate from life. Often we treat business as purely transactional, focused on profits, competition, and outcomes. But at its core, every business exists to serve human well-being. When this purpose is forgotten, we fall into what can be called the paradox of benevolence, where actions intended to benefit some end up harming others. We see this in decisions driven purely by short-term gains, where profits are prioritized over people, or growth is pursued at the cost of sustainability. But true leadership is different. It comes from alignment between personal values and professional actions, because you cannot separate who you are from what you do. A leader who embodies integrity, mindfulness, and balance naturally creates an organization that reflects the same. This is where Ashtanga Yoga becomes powerful, not just as a personal practice, but as a leadership philosophy. When these 8 principles are integrated into business, they bring clarity in decision-making, discipline in execution, focus in strategy, and compassion in relationships. They help align not just the mind, but also the deeper energies within us, often described as the chakras and energy channels. And when this alignment happens, business is no longer just about growth. It becomes about meaningful growth. Growth that creates value not only for shareholders, but for employees, communities, and the environment. In the end, the goal of both yoga and business is the same: well-being. The difference lies in how consciously we pursue it. Ashtanga Yoga reminds us that success is not just about reaching a destination, but about how we walk the path. Because when the process is aligned, the outcome naturally follows.